How do child actors get started in the film industry and how they still manage to be a kid? We have the often scary but always talented Kylie Kiss in studio today to find out. We'll ask her all about her secret to success and any words of advice for other aspiring child actors. What would you think if someone gave you cereal as a gift? It's not exactly what you think in today's good deed story. A fun fact about why recycling is important to everyone, some bourbon, a good cigar, and much more coming up on this episode of The Pork Pie. Welcome to The Pork Pie. Today's topic, child actors. As always, I have my Maker's Mark bourbon, and today's cigar, we're going to go with New World by A.J. Fernandez. It's a medium to full, all Nicaraguan cigar, rich, smooth, sweet pepper hints, and I prefer the box press Bellicoso. It's small. I prefer the box press. I think it looks better in your hand. And I think it's an everyday cigar, so it's definitely not going to disappoint. Find yours today at famoussmoke.com. That's famous-smoke.com. Friendly reminder, if you enjoy our podcast, please subscribe on YouTube or iTunes and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you like this video, give us a big thumbs up, and of course, feel free to share this content with your friends. Today, our special guest is a young up-and-coming actress whose talent is only exceeded by her radiant beauty. Please welcome Miss Kylie Kiss to the show. Kylie, why don't you say hi to all of our listeners?
Hi.
Kylie, really appreciate you coming in today. This is going to be awesome. I just want to start by asking you, what's your story? How old are you?
I am 10 years old. I started this when I was around 5 or 6. I went to acting classes on every single Wednesday, and I learned how to read scripts. I did diagrams, a lot of fun stuff. And it also helped my mom so she could see how she can get me into more roles. And they said, put me on this website, take pictures, get me into whatever website. And my mom kind of did that. And maybe a month passed, and my mom got me pictures done, and she put them on the website. And people who were looking for kids my age, my hair color, they would ask me to do an audition and what place, what address. We'd go there, and I got a audition, and I auditioned for it. We went to New York, and then after that, we got a call back a few weeks later, and they said they wanted me, and I was playing as a ghost in a short film called Play.
So things started pretty quickly for you then, huh?
Yeah, it did. And every few months, sometimes weeks, I'd get auditions, and yeah, that's how it kind of worked out.
So other than acting, what are some other things you enjoy doing?
I do gymnastics. I also model. I think that's it.
Gymnastics, huh? What do you like about gymnastics?
I like doing the bar and tumble track.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the projects that you've worked on. I actually saw the short film Play that you mentioned, which had a few jump scares in it, and I'm a huge fan of horror movies. And they don't really scare me that much, but I'm telling you, a couple of those jump scares, they got to me. I mean, it was pretty intense. Tell me, what was it like working on that project?
It was just amazing. I went there for like an hour and a half. I had to get makeup done to look pale and like a ghost. And every single person there was so nice, and they kind of just, since it was my first time, they walked me through everything, and we did scenes. Sometimes they did scenes with other characters and not me, and like it was a lot of fun and in a great experience, and it taught me a lot on how to do film since it was my first time, and it gave me experience, my mom experience, and it was a lot of fun because when my free days, when I wasn't acting there, I got to go out and do a bunch of stuff there with my family, and it was a lot of fun because when you're doing acting, sometimes you get free days, and not only do you go places, but you also get to do things outside of it.
I have a small clip of the short film play, and we're going to take a look at that right now. That was fantastic. Let's talk about the latest project, Ghost in the Graveyard. And apparently it's supposed to be released this spring or summer.
So Ghost in the Graveyard, I think they started shooting it in 2017. What happened was there was a bunch of kids and some other really famous actors and actresses there. And what we did was we went to a graveyard and we danced, and I got to meet the director, all the cast. It was a lot of fun, and it was probably my best experience for doing acting. It definitely taught me so much and got me like how far I am right now.
Sure.
Everybody was so nice, and I met the director's family, and there was a cast party, and it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of scenes that were really, really scary. And
now they weren't scary for you, right? You knew you were in the movie, or were they still scary?
They weren't scary for me at all, because I read the scripts,
sure.
and I understood it, and it wasn't scary for me, but for other people, it definitely was.
Oh, I bet. So, tell me about your co-star, Shiloh. What's she like?
She is amazing. I think she's 9 right now. We were in a van because they were taking us from the hotel to the graveyard.
Sure.
And my mom was like, Kylie, why don't you go say hi? And I was like, okay. So I said hi to her, and we just started talking the whole time. But Shiloh is an amazing actress as well, and she just started too, and we were both learning how to do this, and she's just an amazing actress. She's a good friend. She's really nice, and she's been in some other same auditions as me, and we did a few things that we didn't know we were going to do together. And one time when we were shooting for Ghost in the Graveyard, my mom and her mom surprised us as giving us like a sleepover at the hotel after we met, and it was a lot of fun, and we had a bunch of fun together.
That is awesome. So you were in the short film play. You're in this latest project called Ghost in the Graveyard. I'm kind of noticing a trend here, Kylie. So do you like watching scary movies as well as being in them?
Yes, I love scary movies.
So you're 10 years old. You've been professionally acting for about 5 years now. How do you manage to be so professional and still have time to be a kid?
Like I said, my mom put me on a website, and I've been getting auditions a lot, and I don't let it get in the way of my personal things. I don't get mad if I don't get a part. I don't get upset about it.
So you stay very even keeled.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's very mature for your age. That's
yes.
a really mature way to act.
A lot of the time I will get auditions on the weekend mostly, and I like to have my own weekends and hang out with people, but I do it anyway, and if I have a problem with it, I don't have to do it, but I push myself, so I do it, and I end up loving it, like Ghost in the Graveyard. I didn't know how that was going to turn out. I didn't know how much fun I was going to have, and I did a lot of fun, but I did a lot of sports, and sometimes acting got in the way, or the other sports did, where I had to stop doing a little bit of acting and more of what I had to choose what I was more committed to. And I chose sports over acting, and it took me about a few weeks before I wanted to go back, and I just had so much fun with it that I just didn't want to stop doing it. So I did different things and I went back to acting, and I and a lot of the time I also get auditions or things I have to do and I have to skip school for it. And sometimes it's not good because I have a test or they learn something that I don't know and I don't get to do it, but I study while I'm away and I work myself to the point where I'm ready to do it, and I don't let anything get in the way of acting or my personal things, or I just don't let it happen and I stay positive.
That's awesome. It's very mature to be able to prioritize your life like that at only 10 years old. That's awesome. So, do you have any siblings?
I have a younger brother and an older sister, and nobody has no idea how much they support me.
Really? Okay. Well, this is your opportunity to let everybody know how much they support you.
They if they have something going on, like a sport or something, they don't care. They will push it away to come see me do my thing. They support me all the way. They are always there. And when they can't come, we talk to them every night, and they are just something I never could ask better to have. Like, nothing could be better with them. And they push me, and when I feel like I don't want to do it, they don't make me do anything. They just are proud of me.
Because I'm sure even if the one is older and the one is younger, I'm sure it would be very easy for them to be jealous of how good your acting career is going so far.
Yes.
And that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, they don't have a problem. They don't think my parents spend more time with me because I do this. They're just amazing and support me, and they're probably my best supporters.
You are amazing. So, if I was a kid who wanted to get into acting, what would be the biggest piece of advice you would give me?
I would probably say after your mom or dad or whatever parent got you into the websites, I would say just even when you don't want to do it, because one, it could be an amazing experience for you, and it could teach you a lot, and it could help your mom with all the people there and other moms there to tell you how to do it, or other dads. And when you just don't like it, just if you don't like it, don't do it. But if you like it, keep going. Even when you feel like you did so bad because you didn't get a part, you probably did amazing. It's just something not right for you. So what I'm trying to say is just don't let yourself be so negative and be positive about it, and don't have, like, you can have high hopes, but don't get upset when you don't get it, and just stay positive and be ready for the next thing to happen.
Absolutely. Some very wise words. Okay, so who would you say, because you've mentioned your dad, you've mentioned your mom, you've mentioned your brothers and sisters that are supporting you, but who would you say is your role model?
When I was 4, I watched this TV show and I saw this girl, and she was an actress, and she became my idol, and she was my role model since then. She just does a bunch of acting, and she kind of got me into what I'm doing now.
Do you want to say her name and give her a little plug?
Dove Cameron. She's been in a show called Liv and Maddie. She's been in Descendants, and I just love her, and I don't know why. She just became my role model, and I've been begging my parents when I was 4 to be just like her.
So you were also in a TV show, right?
Yes, it was called Shattered. I worked with 2 other girls, an older man, and he was a very bad guy, and he kidnapped us, and we did a lot of scary stuff. That is another horror thing, and it's called Shattered, and it was a lot of fun. It was scary though, and that one did kind of scare me because I had to be tugged away, kind of, not in a hard way, but it looked hard, and it was scary because it's just a scary feeling when you're in horror.
Another project that's horror. I'm seeing a big trend here. Okay, so right now it is time for the Pork Pie's fun fact of the day. Let me ask you something, Kylie. Do you recycle?
Yes.
Why do you think it's important to recycle?
Because all the trash that you put in a regular trash can gets dumped into the ocean. But when you put it in a recycling bin, you're saving our environment. Because the recycling bins get all the things, the bottles in there, containers, get made into something new, and it could even be a t-shirt, it could be anything, and we're saving our sea animals and our environment and our land animals, because all the trash gets dumped into the ocean, and it hurts them, and they get trapped, and it's not good to not recycle because it hurts our environment.
Wow. Not only does she have radiant beauty, but is extremely talented and also extremely smart. Look out, fellas. Okay, so the fun fact of the day. Did you know that recycling one glass jar saves enough energy to watch television for 3 hours?
No, that's
pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
So, in fact, the average person has a chance to recycle 25,000 glass jars in their entire lifetime, which equates to about 75,000 hours of television. That's a lot.
Yes.
That is a lot.
It's good. They're helping our earth.
Exactly. So on every podcast, I want to try to do a positive story, because there's so much negativity in the world, and there's so much negativity that gets reported in the news. I feel like there's a lot more positive things that happen, but you don't get to hear about them. So on every podcast, I'm going to share a positive story. So let me ask you this. Do you get your teacher any kind of gift before the holidays?
We do. We actually do. Because we think it's a nice thing to do, because they are teaching us, and not only teachers, other family members, other people, friends, because they are supporters, they teach you, they make you be the person you are now, and you're respectful, and it's good to give back them.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm going to read you the headline of this good news story. Child with nothing to give sacrifices the best part of her breakfast as a gift for her teacher. So let me give you a little bit more information. Rachel Uretsky Pratt is a teacher at the Kennewick School District in Washington. Every year, before her students leave for the holiday, they all present her with different gifts. However, this year, the most notable gift was a small package of Lucky Charms marshmallows wrapped in plastic. So the teacher says that 100% of her students are on a free or reduced breakfast and lunch. So every day that they come and have their breakfast and lunch at school, this one kid felt so bad that she had nothing to give her teacher. She literally took all of the marshmallows out of her Lucky Charms cereal, put them in a little bag, and gave that to her teacher. How awesome is that?
I can't even say anything about that. That is the kindest thing I have ever heard. I can't believe someone could feel that bad for somebody. And that is just so nice, especially since we're only kids and we're not supposed to think about that kind of things. And I think that is so nice of her to do.
Absolutely. So do you ever eat Lucky Charms? Would you eat Lucky Charms without marshmallows?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think if I was going to do something like that, I absolutely would sacrifice the best part of my breakfast to give it to somebody who seems like it'd be a nice thing to do.
Even though it probably wouldn't taste as good, right? Yeah. So the story goes on to say that this teacher posted this amazing story on her Facebook, and it got over 100,000 views because so many people shared it, that the school, the teacher, and that individual student started getting gifts and money and donations from so many people that saw the post. So I think that in itself is just so rewarding, that something so small and such a small act of kindness can have such a big impact on a large community. The teacher actually went on to say, and I quote, "My wish for all of you is to remember this kind of simple gesture of love from one of my students and carry it with you and continue to spread love and kindness to everyone you meet, not just during the holiday season."
I think they definitely deserve all the donations and gifts because they just showed the world that spreading a random act of kindness can go that far.
Absolutely. Okay. So for every guest that I have on my podcast, I am so thankful. I want to ask every guest 5 questions, and they're the same 5 questions. So, are you ready? Okay. Question 1. And this comes as a homage to the great James Lipton, who does Inside the Actor's Studio. What is your favorite word?
Probably kind.
Kind. Why is that your favorite word?
Like we just said, spreading a random act of kindness is always a good thing, and if you just remember kind every day, you're going to start being kinder than you already are. And if you just say it to yourself every day, it just kind of naturally happens.
Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. Question 2. Living or dead, who would you want to meet?
Dove Cameron, my idol.
Who?
Dove Cameron.
Dove Cameron. And that was the actress that you played?
Yes.
Wow. So you haven't even met her?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
She's so famous that...
Maybe she'll see this podcast and just kind of send you a little note, you know? You never know. Okay. Have you ever binge watched a TV show before?
All the time.
All the time. Okay. You have one day to binge watch one show. What show do you pick?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. I'll tell you, I watched the first season of Stranger Things, and I loved it. I haven't had a chance to watch the rest of it, but the season 1 was fantastic. Have you watched it all yet?
Yes.
Oh, of course you have.
I binge watched it at least 3 times in not even a week.
Wow. So you really love it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably the ability to fly.
Flying. Okay, so that's interesting. Why flying?
I could get places faster and people wouldn't see me and I wouldn't have to worry about having a driver's license because I'm obviously too young. And it'd be a quicker way to get around, I guess.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good point. Okay, last question. We already know you're talented, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're very mature, but what are you not very good at?
I think being looking on the negative side of things. I definitely do it sometimes, but out of all the things I do, that's probably one of the things I really don't.
So you're very positive about outlook in life, and you kind of see life as half full instead of half empty.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Well, that almost wraps up our podcast. Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to plug? Any upcoming projects that you might be working on that you can share with us?
I don't want to say any of my projects. I just want to say spread around of act of kindness. Yeah, stay positive. Keep working for what you do. Wishes always come true, no matter how long they do.
Wishes always come true. And I think we just found the new title for this podcast. Wishes always come true. That's amazing. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you to my very special guest, Kylie Kiss.
Thank you.
Be sure to check out her new movie, Ghost in the Graveyard, being released this spring and summer. Thanks to all of you for listening, and again, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our many social media forums. Leave any comments and feedback below, and come back again to see more episodes. For the Pork Pie, I'm Jonathan Van Horn. Salancha.